Gee darn it, Hank. Going off and killing people again. Hey everyone, welcome to Princess of Gay. I'm your host, Connie, and today we are here with my blind reaction to Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer. This is a donation reward for Venom, per usual. And yeah, this is a serial killer horror movie. That's pretty much all I know about it. I don't know who's in this. I don't know when this came out. I don't know, like, if this is like a movie or if it's more like documentary style or anything. I have no clue. But when like getting ready to do this, I kept seeing Henry, and it's, you know how like Hank is a shortened version of Henry. So I kept thinking about like Hank the serial killer, and it just made me think of those meme images of Dean Norris, the actor who plays Hank in Breaking Bad. You know those meme images where it's like him making like either a silly smiling face or the like grumpy looking face and stuff like that. It just made me think of those pictures, and it was making me laugh. um, but yeah, so I don't know exactly what to expect from this. But I have heard that this movie is intense. But that could mean a lot of things. Also, it being intense towards other people does not necessarily mean it's intense towards me. Because there's a lot of movies out there that I've heard are intense, and it's like I watch them and it's like, eh, like the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's like that really wasn't intense at all, like at all. Or Cannibal Holocaust. It's like that was not as bad as people were saying it was. Like, my God, maybe I'm just desensitized to stuff because I've seen so much at this point. But it's like, listen, I watch the Terrifier movies. Cannibal Holocaust is nothing compared to those. Which is weird to say, because most people probably think of Cannibal Holocaust as one of the worst, as one of the big ones in terms of intensity and freakiness and whatnot. But it's like, maybe for the time, but even that's kind of pushing it. It's just not that shocking. Again, though, maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just because I've been desensitized with everything else I've watched at this point. So yeah, I don't know what to expect from this. The title doesn't tell me anything besides that I guess the serial killer's name is Henry, and it's about him. It like tells me nothing. Like, portrait of a serial killer. It's like, what am I supposed to glean from that other than it's about a serial killer? What, does he go to a J.C. Penney and get his photo taken? Like, what am I supposed to get from that? It just sounds like a generic title to reference a serial killer. It's not anything like descriptive. So yeah, again, I have no idea anything really about this. Um, I'm also curious whenever it comes to anything about like serial killers. That's not like, Friday the 13th or some shit like that. I always kind of wonder if these movies are based off of a true story. Not out of some like necessarily sick interest, because unfortunately that is a very much a thing I have to confirm when it comes to serial killers. Um, but more so just out of kind of a sad curiosity. It's like my sister watches or watches, not really watches, just listens to true crime podcasts and stuff. And I'm like always like questioning how she can do that, because I've heard some of those on TikTok and they just bum me out. Like, legitimately, I get really just fucking depressed listening to that kind of shit. Usually with movies, I'm fine, because a movie is either usually fictional or portrayed in a way that's over the top enough to feel fictional. You know what I mean? Where it doesn't like feel like, oh, this is just a real thing that happened, even if I know it was. Um So it's like it kind of creates this like almost sad curiosity. It's like watching this movie, how sad am I going to get that this kind of shit, if this kind of shit actually happened? It's really hard to think about, honestly. It's like I feel more for that than I do with like get upset by gore and stuff in some of these movies. Um, but I'm definitely interested to see what this is because people talk about it. Even if I haven't gotten any spoilers, thank God, people do mention this movie. And I'm very curious to see why. This is kind of put up there with all of those big, like, horrifying, gruesome movies. The likes of, like, again, Cannibal Holocaust or Salo or whatnot. Like, whenever I hear, like, those kind of movies named, I usually hear this one in that conversation as well. Even if it's not as gruesome or whatnot, people bring it up still. But I don't know if it's that gruesome or not. I just don't know. I also have no idea when this came out, so that would definitely give me more context if I knew. But yeah, I'm interested to see what we got here. So we're just gonna get into this and hope for the best. When the before we do, I do want to briefly mention that there's a lot of great content to check out on the channel. Every Monday through Friday, we have a plethora of awesome series reactions you can watch. And on Mondays, we also do YouTube reactions. Or at least YouTube adjacent. Anything that doesn't quite fit into a full series or a movie reaction. Um, Shorts, specials, that kind of stuff. Or like maybe a mini series that's just not enough episodes to make it worth it to put it in an actual slot. Stuff like that. And every Saturday and Sunday, we do movie reactions. They're recorded earlier in the week, such as this one, but I upload them on the weekends just to make sure every day has something going on. But yeah, just as context for that, for example, I'm recording this on Tuesday. You're watching this on Saturday or, maybe into the future. I don't know. You're not necessarily watching this when it originally came onto the channel, but I recorded this on a Tuesday. It's being uploaded to the channel on a Saturday. That's what you need to know. So yeah, we're also currently going through a couple Let's Plays on the channel. Every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday, we are playing through Spider-Man 2. Really been enjoying that. Though, if you are just checking it out for the first time, as a warning, the first 9 parts have some audio issues, especially 5 through 9. It's just something I wasn't able to fix, but starting with episode 10, it is fixed. I figured out what the issue was, and episodes 10 and on should be all good. On Saturdays, we are also doing Anno Mutationum. This is a donation reward Let's Play for Matthew Vasquez, so thank you, Matthew. And yeah, I'm enjoying that one as well. It's pretty interesting and unique. If you want to know how to donate for a Let's Play in the future on the PS5, there's a couple videos you can check out, and both should be listed as PS5 Game Reward Month. So if you just search that on the channel, you should find both of those videos no problem, and they will tell you exactly what you need to do in order to request a reward Let's Play. So that being said, now let us get on with the actual reaction. When the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction. I think I did something a little wrong there. Go to the description below and follow the link to the reaction because, yes, we do redirect all of the reactions on this channel. I know it may not be the best, but it's a safety precaution. You know how YouTube tends to be with its copyright laws and everything, its copyright rules. So just to avoid possible channel strikes or even worse, having the channel terminated, I've dealt with that before and just do not want it to happen again. To avoid that, we kind of push everything off to another site. On the plus side, though, that means that all of you, yes, every single one of you, gets to see the full unedited reactions for free. Completely free. No paywall, no Patreon. You don't even have to sync up your own copy. That's pretty awesome, honestly. Not a lot of other channels are able to do that, but my channel is. So all you have to do is go to the description below, follow the link to the reaction, watch it, and then come back here and resume play on the redirect. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will not only be my afterthoughts and contain spoilers to the episode, but will also contain just my general thoughts on the series and everything, and possibly some other stuff related to the channel as well. It's always worth it to check out just to see what I might have to say. But all of that being said, thank you so much for tuning in as always, and for now I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So I looked it up. This was an extremely low budget independent film, and it is based off of a couple real life serial killers, Henry Lee Lucas and Otis Toole, obviously with a much more how do I put it, fictionalized version of things. Let me see here. Yeah. So this was Michael Rooker's first film role. He chose to take it on simply because it was a film. He didn't care about the script or anything. And according to this, he just wanted to act in a film as it would challenge him, because he was doing play stuff prior. The movie received like an X rating, and honestly, I don't really see why. Like, yeah, it has some, like, I guess maybe the idea is that the depictions of the murders and rapes and stuff in this are quote unquote realistic because of how it's shot and everything, and the more, you know, almost just almost camcorder style quality to the movie and everything. Maybe that's why, but honestly, like, this movie came out in 86. It was like made a year or two before, in the year or two before. I've seen movies earlier than this that are not rated X that honestly are more gruesome, or have done like worse shit or whatnot, and definitely movies since. This really wasn't that bad, all things considered. I've seen worse. Honestly, this movie was fucking boring. Like, that's, I think, its worst issue, is that it just was boring. The way it was shot, the way it was paced, the way certain things were edited, and just the lack of like cohesion to the story made it feel just extremely like hard to sit through. I didn't really care about any of the characters because, one, two of the only three main characters, because it's such a small and kind of restrictive cast because of the little budget. Two of the three main characters are completely unlikable pieces of shit. And the third one, the only likable one, it just doesn't give us enough time with. Most of the movie follows Henry and Otis. So Becky, it's like, why are we supposed to care about her? We've not been given a reason to care. We've not known her as a character for enough time in this movie to really care. Like, you can have like generalized caring for, like, oh, you see at near the end Otis raping her and stuff. It's like, oh yeah, obviously you can sympathize and empathize with her there. It's like fucked up and you don't want to see that, of course. You understand that, oh, she went through horrific abuse from her ex-husband after having been, raped as a child by her father. It's like, yeah, you have general things that you can feel sorry for her for. But in terms of the events of the film and like her presumed very heavily implied death in the end, it's like I'm not upset at it. I'm not sad at it because it's like I didn't care. It's let's put it this way. You remember my reaction for those watching, and obviously for Venom, you'll remember. You remember my reaction to the first Reanimator? You remember how like aggressively upset I got at that and how it ended? That's because we knew her character. That's because she, while also being the only likable character in that movie, actually had time to grow on us. We had time to care about her. This movie doesn't give us that. It just doesn't give us time to care. The acting in this is almost laughably bad. And I really hate to say it, but that includes from Michael Rooker. Like, you can tell this is his first film role because he is not good in it. None of the actors were good, though. It's not just him. With the budget they had and everything, and just, this being an independent film and all, they probably didn't worry too much about that. They just wanted to make their film. It's like none of these actors are doing a good job. And it's not even just that they don't feel believable. They're just not good. The way they're reading their lines, the way they just act in general is not good. It's not good acting. The music is so random and like sporadic. Occasionally, on like this extremely rare occasion, you'll hear just a random actual song, but most of the time it's just extremely jarring musical cues that feel entirely out of place and excessively overdramatic. And it just doesn't work. And again, the pacing and the editing, the way it just cuts scenes, and you'll have like random scenes show up for no real reason. On top of that, it's just like, oh, we're gonna show this scene and then just straight up hard cut it to another out of nowhere. It's like we're not gonna actually take the time to sit on anything and give it some time to ruminate, give us time to actually know these characters. It's just like snap 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 to another scene in no time. And then there's like certain things, it's like this would be great if we understood anything. Like there's an example, the woman near the end, the woman with the dog. What was the point of that scene? Like, we see Henry like consider killing her, but then he just doesn't, and it's like that scene didn't mean anything. You could take that out, it wouldn't have changed anything about the film. It is like the point of it trying to say like, oh, if he had continued to follow her and kill her, then he might not have gotten there in time to save Becky from being raped. Is like that what it was trying to say? Was that like the intent behind that? Because if so, that was really fucking poorly handled. And if that's not it, then what was the point of the scene? It feels like it was trying to like give us a little bit of depth to him. It's like, oh, he's choosing not to kill someone here. He's like struggling with it even a little bit. But it's like, why would you, one, try to give depth to him here? Two, like, what is this accomplishing? it doesn't actually do what it seems like it's trying to do. You're not actually giving any depth to him because it doesn't equate to anything. It doesn't mean anything in the course of the film. It's the only time he seems to struggle with this idea. And it's just like just there. And I don't get it. This is not a good movie. And not just because of the bad budget, not just because of the poor editing and stuff. It's not even entertaining. It doesn't, like I said, it doesn't seem to have much of a cohesive story. The little bit of a story it has is just kind of there and just exists. And then it's like at the end you just give it like a bad sour ending just because. It's like what does that actually accomplish? Oh, he got away with it at the end. He got away. He killed all these people. He ended up killing his accomplice. He killed his accomplice's sister, who he had kind of a romance with, but also seemed like he didn't want to be in a romance with her. So it seemed kind of really random and out of nowhere. And at the same time, it's like there was zero chemistry whatsoever. And there was no build up to it. It just happened suddenly. It's like they had like maybe one or two conversations, and all of a sudden, oh, I'm in love with you, Henry. It's like, the fuck did that come from? It's just like, it feels like the people making this have never made a movie before and have no clue what they're doing. And it's just, I couldn't even slightly get into it. And again, it wasn't even that gruesome or like scary or intense to like at least make it somewhat like disturbing to watch. No. It was just there. It just kind of existed in that regard. I've just seen much worse in terms of that. In terms of like, disturbing shit in movies. It felt like it was trying to be like one of those shock movies that's like, oh, we're gonna have our villain characters do all this horrible stuff just to shock audiences. And it's just like, that doesn't work if you don't have any cohesion to it. If you don't actually put forth the effort to make the story, the script work, then the shock factor of it all is empty, lifeless. It doesn't work. Like, you had this big scene that was supposed to be like disturbing and is shown pretty much entirely through camera footage. Actually, yeah, it is entirely through camera footage of Henry and Otis killing this family, this couple and their teenage son. And you see during it like Otis is raping the mother as well. And it's just, that scene could have been really fucked up and really like harrowing to watch. Instead, it's just like boringly shot, not well executed in terms of the writing and the acting. It just felt flat. You want to know a scene I could compare that to that gets it right? Have you ever seen A Clockwork Orange? When the Droogs attack, I think they're a couple or something. They go into that house and start attacking them, and I believe they rape the woman in there too. But that is actually a lot more intense and gruesome and shocking of a scene. I don't remember if it's like the early on in the movie or later on. I don't remember, but it's a pretty noteworthy scene in the film. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. And it's like they're like destroying everything around the room and everything, and that scene is done better because it's better written, better acted. It's just better executed in every way. Here with this scene, it's just like, eh. Am I supposed to care? Because you're not making me care. You're not making me feel bad. It's like the movie doesn't even like succeed at doing like the one thing it should be succeeding at. And I'm just left disappointed. I don't really, again, I don't really care. So yeah, this is a movie that exists. It's not a good one, but it exists. Tell me your thoughts below. Maybe you liked it more than I did. Um, but yeah, I didn't like it at all. Just even as a movie. But luckily, there are a lot of great stuff to check out on this channel. Every Monday through Friday, we have a plethora of awesome series reactions. And on Mondays, we also do YouTube, or at least YouTube adjacent reactions. Anything that doesn't quite fit into a full series or movie reaction. And speaking of movie reactions, we have those every Saturday and Sunday. They're recorded earlier in the week, but I upload them on the weekend just so that every day has something going on for it. And we're also currently going through a couple of Let's Plays. We're doing Spider-Man 2 every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Really been enjoying that, so hope that it continues to be as great as it has been. And every Saturday, we are doing Anno Mutationum. This is a reward Let's Play for Matthew Vasquez. And if you want to know how to get involved in donation reward Let's Plays, check out the videos for PS5 Game Reward Month. There's a couple of videos that you should be able to find if you do a channel search with that. And that will give you all the information you need in getting that taken care of, if you want to and are able to. It's obviously completely optional, but I thought I'd bring it up because, just advertising for it. That all being said, though, thank you, as always, so much for tuning in. And for now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.